with me. I know, they know exactly why. So now, there's those of them that will love to take my work to my hands and claim it for themselves because they're more recognizable, they're more known than I am. So they would prefer I give them everything that I've worked on for the past 40 plus years of my life. They want me to put it in their hands, and they're going to bring it to the people because they have more accessibility to those that will either believe or not believe. Wow, what a joke. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And I don't care if they do go out there and finally start realizing that the world has been manipulating them, and now they realize that back in the year of 2000, I need you to hear what I was doing. I was out doing nothing more than talking to all of those would-be so-called fathers that found themselves losing their children, having their girlfriends, their babies' mamas, their so-called wives, just walk out on them. Meantime, we were in New York with a few would-be so-called ministers that they called themselves that was doing nothing more than building a court to help take care of fathers' rights. You want to know something? 90% of the melanated females that was in the melanated community was all about trying to destroy it, disrupt it, stop it. They did not want it to even come into any type of would-be material. They were busy trying to destroy it. And at that time, I was telling them, you don't know what you're really doing. You don't know what you're really asking for. Because all along, I was trying to explain to them that even as far back as in 1960, they had already started putting black females in a position where they was about to either marry a white boy or they was about to starve to death. Because it was illegal. Majority of the time, it was illegal. And I did say majority of the time, it was illegal for them to be having a black man in the house with them. Because it was considered that the black man was in the house with them and he was doing nothing more than benefiting off of government aid. Because the majority of them was on commodities, food, medicine, water, child care services. All these things they were government controlled, government operated. And the government would actually send out those that they would classify as nothing more than government workers to even do nothing more than spy on the different houses that was receiving this government aid. I can assure you that 99.9% of those houses were women, single mothers, and even if they were caught with some man's shoes sitting under their bed, or even if they were caught with the aftershave sitting on their would-be so-called dressers where they would clean their faces, makeup cabinets, which we might will, they would be terminated off the program just for having a small ball of would-be high karate aftershave sitting on their would-be so-called beauty makeup cabinet. And they would be terminated off, and now it's back. It's back stronger than it had ever been before. They find one joint, one blunt, one half-smoked marijuana cigarette, or one half a ball of old English 800 sitting in the back seat of some black female's car now. They will link it by way of getting DNA off it to some black male, and then they will cut off her would-be so-called government aid. Stay with me. I'm just letting you know it didn't change, and I was explaining that to you as far back as the 1990s. And I couldn't get you to sit down and focus. I kept telling you, stay focused, stay alert, you stay alive. But you didn't want to hear it. And you're still having problems listening and understanding and following. The average person, female, in the United States of America, be she black, white, blue, green, purple, or brown, she's under something that is known as a government assistant. And she needs to understand that at any time they find that you got a masculine force of some small ball of high karate sitting on your makeup beauty cabinet, they're going to terminate you from that would be so-called aid, that assistant. I'm just giving you facts. Who do you think they were going to attack? Just the black women alone? They was nothing more than a model to see how far could they go and take it. You know what? So they knew that the black female was the most gullible person in the world. You know what? No, I'm not attacking black women. Shut up. Be quiet. Sit down. Let me help you out. I'm going to tell you what attacked the black women. That was a lady by the name of Lilith and another lady by the name of Eve. Those are the ladies that attacked the black female because they were black. They were known as the two women that was first initially on this planet that were hanging out with this black guy by the name of Adam, only to find themselves being interrupted by the white male by the name of Lucifer. Sit down and be quiet and listen to the true story. God Almighty, they just don't get it, Father. Oh, they're not listening to what I'm talking about. I didn't think so. But they too busy thinking that they got it all figured out. They got all of their would-be so-called ministers of God that they have chosen to be the ones that's going to be their example of how to live and have a perfect life. They got that guy by the name of George of the Jungle. No, George DePoy. No, what? George Jorge Bergoglio. That's the one I'm talking about. I just know he's one of those in-between guys. He got it. He's the godfather of the universe. He is to give everybody on the planet spiritual guidance. And his spiritual guidance now comes by way of telling everybody that it's okay to lie down with the same sex. It's all right to have someone enter your rectum because there's a hole there too. Stay with me. I'll keep it clean, but I need you to understand. I told you, my father sent me with a message. He sent me with a message. And the messenger has been sent. Wow. Nope, I'm not going to be on the television. I'm not going to be on anything that has anything to do with the gospel. No, not going to be on that. I know every day you got Trinity broadcast. It's still there. Trinity broadcast. They are the Trinity of explaining and putting out information whereby it will lead you to one place. Hell. I'm just giving you the truth. Stop it. I don't care anything about Gino, Jennings. I don't care. That's your business. You listen to him. I don't have to listen to him. Matter of fact, I would never listen to him. You know why? Because he's younger than I am, and thereby I don't need advice from some young, I'm not going to say that. I know you was waiting for me to do it. But I'm not about to listen to no advice coming from some young whippersnapper that don't even know how to snap beans. I don't have time for that. Oh, you don't know how to snap beans either. Well, I don't want to offend you. I shell peas. I snapped beans before. You might want to try. See, they don't always come in a can where they already been snapped or they already been, we would say, taken out of their shell so you can eat them in their own liquid. They don't always come that way. You know, not peas and not beans. Stay with me. I know I'm not going to get off the subject, but I need you to understand the simplicity of the subject. The United States of America's transatlantic slave trade, a trade that took place where they said it's so-called triangular trade, because it was done more than one time. 1, 2, 3, 3 times over it was done. The first trade, they're saying that only 10 million people, 10 to 12 million people that were enslaved were brought across from Africa to America around the 16 and 1900. Hogwash. Over 500 million people were trafficked across that water. 500 million people. 500 million people were trafficked across that water. All by a bunch of Europeans. Just because they were trafficking sugar and coffee and they say wine. Let me help you out. It was also whiskey. Hard drink. I know it was arms called weapons, textiles. They were brought across. But all of a sudden now, they want to claim that all this happened around 16 and 1900, when we know for a fact that by the 1480s, the Portuguese, had already come by way of Cape Verde from Spain on a trade of slaves from all around the world. Enslaved people. Let me help you out, white folks. Some of you were part of that slave trade because you were slaves from where you were bought from. Shut up and sit down. You're not so intelligent that you think you are. Cracker. You was also a slave at one time. Yes, you were. And you still are. Because you're enslaved to the ignorance in which you got locked up in that would-be English pea brain you got. Sit down and be quiet. Probably more, they would say, than a few 100,000 Africans were taken to the Americas before 1600 by what they say would have been the 17th century. However, demand for the enslaved labor rose sharply. I need you to understand. Try imagining a few 100,000 along with a few 100,000 with the so-called Chinese along with these Africans. Try imagining again about a few 100,000 of nothing more than what would have been classified as Europeans that were being bought as slaves because they were being kicked out because they were classified criminals. So every one of them that was classified criminals were also placed on a slave ship and sent out to become part of the Atlantic trade. Stay with me. I know. Listen, America, I'm talking to you right now because all the other nations have listened to Dr. Henderson now for over 40-plus years. They have been seriously with me now for about 30-plus years. You want to know something? They have finally got the truth, and they're no longer holding back. What they're already doing, they're taking action. There you go. They're taking action. Yes. They're taking action on those who committed crimes against them. The European enslavers usually left behind persons who were elderly, disabled, and otherwise had to be dependent on someone or some group where at least they would be able to contribute to the economy or the economic health of their society. They didn't want them. Or did they? Let me help you out. You know, what's so bad about this transatlantic trade that they're not telling you is that America was such an egotistical, outright, devilish place on the planet that they were even taking the elder, they were taking the disabled, those that were dependent on others to take care of them. They even bought them too. You know why? Because they placed them under their system of assistance. And they drew money for them. How about that? How wicked can you be? Wicked. And you know, it was a fascinating statement made by them for reasoning for bringing all those people. Well, we bought them because if we left them behind, they would have suffered and died with no one there to care for them, no one there to even have an aid for them. No one would have been there to place them under any would-be system of assistance that they might survive. How? Genius of a plan. So Americans bought the elderly, they bought the disabled, they bought the crippled, they bought everything they could bring in order that they might be able to at least get 10% off them. And after falling into so much debt, in which they did, they began to even acquire all of the other would-be nations enslaved. I know. And this is the thing that kind of borders now, that keeps everybody separated, keeps everybody kind of in a divisional type life form. Because you got Chinese that are saying to the black people that we too were slaves. But you got the black people that you couldn't have been enslaved. You were not here. You wasn't part of us. Yes, they were here. And they were part of you. They were working on the railroad right along with you, singing the same song you were singing. I've been working on the railroad all the live long day. Don't you hear the captain shouting? You think he was in China or China? Blow your horn. Which one do you think he was saying? I know. Ignorant to the core. I'm not calling you dumb and stupid. I said ignorant. In other words, I'm saying that you just didn't get the information. The memo that you read, that's right. It was red rum fell backwards. Stay with me. I'm just messing with you. God Almighty. Somebody said, what does red rum mean? Fell backwards. Whatever. A world whereby now, I'm talking to this world right now as we so speak. You know, I got some people out there that they are so brain dead that I'm telling you right now, they have been walking in their shoes and pretending that they're upside down. Stay with me. God Almighty. Stay with me. I'm just wanting to help you. Because it's not by chance getting any better. And for those of you that are out there that says, well, the reason I don't listen to him is because he's always preaching doom and gloom. It's obvious that you're not out there living the doom and gloom. And I don't know whose house that you're staying over. Perhaps you're still in mama's house where everything is provided for you and all you got to do is eat, sleep, drink, pee, and be married. Maybe that's where you're at. I don't know. Maybe you're over a great-aunt's house or great-grandmother's house. Maybe you just decide to move in with some chick who has 12 children and she gets a pretty good would-be payout from the United States of America based upon assistance, and you're comfortable with that. I don't know where you've been. I don't want to really truly attack you, but I need you to understand that I'm not teaching, I'm not preaching. No, I'm not bringing you any message that's going to put you in a position where you're going to learn something. No, teaching is taught, not taught. You either catch it or you don't. You got people out here pretending to be nothing more than the leaders that they run the land. They have the land. I own the land. I'm in charge of the land. And they haven't done any works of their hands. They have no true documentation whatsoever. And they got a lot of people following them to their grave. So that's where they're headed. You know, if they took me another picture of someone wearing a war bonnet in regards to a tribe that never ever wore a war bonnet in their life, it's obvious that they don't know history. They don't know anything about the truth. They're wearing war bonnets for a group of people that never ever wore war bonnets in their life. They didn't have war bonnets. The war bonnets was only worn by certain Indians in certain sectors of the world. And I've been talking to a lot of the chiefs lately. Chiefs, I love you guys. But I need you to at least come out and teach your tribe the truth. You got a lot of tribal members. You got a lot of tribal, would be so-called, if they call themselves that, warriors. You need to teach them that either your tribe wore a war bonnet or they didn't. You need to tell them that the tribe in which you're leading never was under any would-be threat of a war. They never fought. Not even against each other did they fight. You need to tell them that you came from the tribe that would have actually been classified as the Israelites, who they didn't even believe in swearing or smacking or even accidentally bumping into one another, because it was always a sin to even commit any type of physical or mental crime against the other, knowing that he was the same tribe as you. And it seems now that all that's gotten lost with a bunch of figurehead people who have no clue how to be an empress. They have no clue how to be an emperor. They have no clue on how to be a chief. They don't even have no clue on how to be nothing more than a neighborhood volunteer. They have no clue how to do such things. I'm not attacking anyone specifically, because I would tell you right now, there's more than a few thousand of them that can be spread out across the world now that are doing such things of this nature. And believe it or not, the Universal World Court, to include the National Criminal Courts of Justice, and to include the International Court, which is known as the Criminal Court for Crimes, are now working on a system to bring those people to justice if they don't shut their mouths. And I'm giving them a warning right now. Or you're going to be locked away for a long time, you and whatever tribe you're carrying with you, because that's where we're at right now. Elimination of those perpetrators. America has been perpetrating on the people now for 250 years, and they're about to be eliminated. What makes you think you're going to be able to escape elimination, and you've only been around for a few years, if that? Perpetrating. Not going to happen, because the United States of America is going to make sure they mention your name and carry you down first. They're going to make sure that they send out their would-be authority to pick you up. And I can only tell you that if you've been able to collect one would-be so-called American dollar, they're going to get you for money laundering. They're also going to get you for what would be classified as theft. I'm just giving everyone the truth, because I got a lot of people out there. I get information every day. I come to a point where now my emails, they are so overloaded. I'll be honest with you, I'm never going to be able to catch up on them. I'm just being honest, straightforward. I'm never going to be able to read all of my emails and answer everyone back. Not going to be able to do it. It's just not going to happen. I saw with the video just recently today, Kanye West find himself having to do nothing more than talk to some would-be Caucasian Caucasian female about the truth of what's going on in the United States of America. And I know his celebrity friends right now are probably looking at him like, oh, he's about to get another shoe shut down. He's about to get another album or CVD or DVD or whatever he's doing. He's about to get that shut down. For what? He's talking the truth. Well, that's some of the things that I was doing back in the 1990s, wanting to help single fathers out. But believe it or not, Kanye West wasn't around during that time. I was still doing it during the late 90s, all the way to the early 2000s. And Kanye West was around during that time. And yes, we reached out to him with no return of reaching back. And I told him then that the would-be young black fathers of the United States of America was about to find themselves in trouble. Not with the females. It has nothing to do with the baby mamas. It had everything to do with the American system. And I was explaining that to them. The baby mama is about as caught up in the system and going to get destroyed by it faster than you are going to get destroyed by it. Because as soon as they can find out that she's still having some collaboration with you, and as soon as they find out that y'all would be two separate parents program is working out real good, as soon as they find out that both of y'all can be co-parents and still be co-partners with somebody else, they're going to come in and they're going to destroy your whole cohabitation. Stay with me, God Almighty. I explained it to you, but you didn't want to listen. I told you when the so-called would-be Clintons were in the White House, but they had already developed a plan. It was called domestic violence. And that domestic violence was strictly set up to destroy nothing more than the black men off the planet. But it backfired because they found out that even Al Gore himself, was taking licks upside his head like a would-be so-called nothing more than a boxing bag for a prime would-be fighting champion. He was taking more licks upside his head until they decided that this just not going to cut it like this. So they began to try to steer away from it. But because the steering wheel just was so stiff and the people that were behind it guiding it just wouldn't let it come no more back to the right, and just kept it going to the left until they run over all the black men, and they realized they were running over white men, Chinese men, Mexican men, Japanese men. Yeah, I can name all of you. They was running over every man on the planet, taking his total parent right away from him. And the mothers were just giggling, happy, bubbly, just like E. Jean Carroll. Not realizing right now they're setting her up for the greatest would-be downfall of her life. And she's got to get it, too, before she leaves this planet. She's headed for hell, right here on Earth. Yeah, I'm going to use this money. I'm going to use it. We can go on a camping trip. We can go on a cruise. You go right ahead, Miss E. Jean Carroll, because I'm here to tell you, this is a known fact. You get to a certain age, don't nobody buy that stuff anymore. You sell it. Stay with me. It becomes rubbery. It becomes out of shape. Nobody wants it anymore. Stay with me. I'm going to keep it clean. I'm going to be kind to you. But I need you to understand the reality of truth and what's happening right now. You're being set up by your government to take a fall. And you're going to. You don't get a choice because you won't listen to nobody. You think you're getting something. Money. Dollars have no value. So thereby, he don't have to pay you anything because the dollar don't have no value. And that's what your would-be so-called judgment was for, money. We didn't ask for money. We asked for wealth. All of the wealth back. We didn't ask for dollars. We gave them $875 billion that they might return to us all the wealth in which was ours to begin with. Wealth. We said back $875 billion. We haven't said anything to them about their debt of $900+ trillion because we're talking about the entire wealth of this planet, not about some dollar value. But half of you don't even understand that. You were told that you were given $1 billion would be credit. Do you understand that $1 billion credit? If you had ever attended any conversation that Dr. Henderson was in, I kept asking you, what do you think your value is? What's your worth? I kept asking you. Often, many of you would tell me, well, I think I should at least get 50 million or I should get 12 million. And I'm looking at you like, I asked you what was your value. What do you think your worth was? I didn't ask you how many dollars you wanted to get from some cracker with the so-called system. What is your value? What's your worth? And I would often tell many of you, unlimited. I know there's those that are listening to me now that can contest to this. I would tell you that you are unlimited. I would tell you that they cannot put a value on your life. No value. Not gold, not silver, not gas, not oil. No value can they place on your life. The $1 billion credit was given whereby the United States of America would have a projection of a number in their mind whereby they would realize that they don't have $1 billion themselves to give back to you. Let them know that they would never be able to pay you what they truly really owed you because they can't even give everyone on the planet $1 billion. And they're in debt $900+ trillion. Surely they're not going to ever get around to having any $1 billion to give anybody. Therefore, you should tell them that your value, your worth is unlimited. I know I explained all this to you before, but you came to me for one reason. You either wanted to prove me a liar. In other words, you just wanted to discredit me, or you wanted to extort me. I'm just telling you. No, I'm not saying all of you did it. Calm down. Relax. Listen, I am who I am. Don't you know I know if you came to extort me? Don't you know I would have known if you came to do nothing more than manipulate me? Don't you know that I would have known all those things? Why do you think I would ask you the question, are you sure? I know everyone's intent. I do. I know there's a lot of them say he can't read minds. I don't read minds. I read hearts. That's the difference. I read hearts and I smell farts. That's about as far as I have to go to know anyone on this planet or any planet coming. I read hearts and I can smell farts. That's as far as I have to go. And I can tell you who they are and who they're not. Go ask. Go ask your would-be so-called Godfather, your would-be spiritual leader, your spiritual advisor. Go ask Pope Francis if I cannot read hearts and smell farts. Because he'll tell you he can't get any place with me. Because I know who he really is. I do. I'll let him expose himself. He's doing it slowly. Can't wait until you hurry up and truly expose himself to who he really is. I didn't say he was Lucifer, so stop it. Lucifer has never been in a church before preaching. Did you know that? Never. Lucifer hasn't. Lucifer has never went before the people to say anything. Never. Not Lucifer. I know Lucifer. I know Satan. Yes, I was once in their company. As a matter of fact, Lucifer used to carry the keys. He used to open up all the doors to heaven. We got 7 to heaven, and 14 would be keys. That's front door, back door. And he used to carry all 14 keys. I just took them from him. I came down here, and I took all 14 keys from Lucifer. That's why I came, to get the keys back from that idiot, because he wouldn't come back and return those keys like he was ordered to do by my father. So my father sent a warrior that he know was going to bust him in his head and take the keys back. And I got the keys now. I wish Lucifer would threaten me. He has no control over me. Not whatsoever. I'm not dying from any of the viruses he brings. I'm not going to die from any of those so-called would-be cannon floggers or whoever he's going to be sending. I'm not dying from any of that. Because the only person that can take my life is me. I can lay down my life, and the next hour, a day, or second, a minute, I can pick it up again. Because I am who I say I am. They ain't waiting to test me. They're going to get the opportunity to test. I am going to go before the whole world as a test. I'm not in fear. If I don't get up, I don't get up, right? But if I get up, they're going to have hell to pay. And heaven is not taking credit. Let me take a break.
Thank you, Yahoshua. You know, family, we've been doing these calls for 10 years now. We started actually in December of 2013, I think. Just kind of the second half of December.